That way, please. That way. Do you know what I'm talking about? Thanks. All right. Well, happy Tuesday to everyone. It's Taco Tuesday.
Ooh, where are the tacos?
Fashion Boutique 29. How are you today? Where are you joining us from? And what is your name? Bill. How's it going? How's the unpacking going today? Hello, Miss T. Victor. What is your name? Where are you guys joining us from? So today we wanted to discuss, Bill, hi. Yeah, we just wanted to kind of discuss, how have thrift stores changed during the pandemic, since the pandemic? Yeah.
Have you guys been going to any thrift stores lately?
But Bill says that his unpacking is ongoing. Good thing it was from a small place to a bigger place and not the opposite, right? Mm-hmm. Or what, that would be really rough too. But yeah, I remember we didn't unpack boxes for almost a year later.
I think we still have boxes that are unpacked.
How's it going, Tori? Happy Taco Tuesday to you. So it's Marcia from Florida. Okay, awesome, Marcia. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we were just somebody sent us an article about how thrift stores have changed, since the pandemic. And there's stuff about, the thrift stores and what we do as resellers that I didn't know about until I read this article. So thank you so much for sending this article to us. Tori says, hey gals, missed you. Yeah, it's been a while. You've been pretty busy on your end, and your house is looking lovely. Nacho Tuesday for Tori, of course. Yum, 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 yum. You are making me hungry.
And Bill said he's going to the bins next Tuesday. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
How are you going to prepare your trip to the bins? I'm curious to know how that's going to be.
All right, Michelle, so I'm going to type out the topic here, and if you wouldn't mind getting started, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so basically, we read this article, and it talks about how thrift stores have changed. They actually have been struggling during the pandemic because they're closed. And the second thing is, a lot of people are decluttering during that period of time, because sometimes they have family members joining them during the pandemic, so they have no space to put their stuff, and they have nowhere to donate their items because all the thrift stores are closed. So it's been a challenge, and who knew how the closing of thrift stores would impact so many people?
Yeah, but all the thrift stores are definitely not closed. I've seen, Bill said, he's going to be heading over to the bins. A lot of people are shopping at thrift stores now. So they're not all closed. A lot of them were closed at one point. Where we live in California, the thrift stores are closed out here, actually. And so good evening, My Web Promos and Critically Loved Clothes. If you guys don't mind just letting us know what your names are down below and where you guys are joining us from this evening. So Bill says loads of hand sanitizer wipes and low expectations. That's true. Everywhere you go, they have obviously the basic necessities, hand sanitizers, wipes,
masks,
and then you have to wear masks, right? So Toy says ours are open here in Spokane, Washington.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they are open in a lot of places, but even with the stores being open, I've heard from different resellers from different parts of the U.S. That there's things that have changed, and even some resellers who changed their tactics, sourcing strategies during the pandemic, haven't, they've liked their new strategy and they've stuck with that. Mm-hmm. And they're doing really well, which is awesome. Definitely, we miss the thrift stores. We would have so much fun going there every week after dinner on the weekend or something. Oh my gosh, we miss it so much. Good evening, Bang and Fresh. Happy Tuesday to you. So definitely during the pandemic, when it first started, and I'm sure even now, people were decluttering in droves, really high numbers of people decluttering. We all know that happened, right?
We also picked up a lot of free items because the thrift stores were closed during that time.
Yeah, and actually what happened too with universities closing down, including some of our customers having to go back home, they rejoined families that were not expecting their families to grow during this time. And so even they had to declutter to invite new family members into their homes.
Yeah.
So hello, Christy Zadek. Happy Tuesday to you. And how's it going, Ashley? Happy Tuesday to you as well. So we do have a question here. Thanks, Bill, for putting the question in the little question sticker area. He asks, have your prices trended towards higher with sourcing online, etc.? So is that like our prices that we're selling our items on, or the prices we're paying for the items?
Yeah, pricing
what do you
we're
think it
paying.
means?
I think that's what he meant. Yes, we're paying more, definitely, for online sourcing online. Because of shipping, and also there's competition. You know, you're buying with other people who are shopping too. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, we recently sold some items that we paid up for online sourcing, but I got to tell you, for me, it's okay because I paid double the price what I would pay in person, but it saved me the time of driving around. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that. And we still are selling our items at the same price as we were selling them before the pandemic. So that's going well.
So this is interesting.
And then this is a funny little question. What's up with that hat, Michelle?
Number 46 for you guys to know what's going on there.
Love that.
My web promo says, at our bins here in Phoenix, you have to call and set an appointment.
Okay.
That's legit. I think that's pretty cool. I wonder how many people they let in the store if you set an appointment.
For people who are listening for the first time or are new to reselling, when we say the bins, we refer to the Goodwill outlets, where literally you have tons of things piled into bins, and you can search through the bins and buy things from there.
Yes.
Ashley said everything is going great for her on her end.
Cool.
And then we do have another question sticker here. And Bill said, meant pricing for your items, what you price your items at. Sorry. So our pricing, has it gone up, do you think, or stayed the same?
They stay the same. When we source items, we want to make sure we have a good profit margin. So we don't buy when the prices are not okay. Like if we make a decent profit, we'll still buy it and sell it at the market price, basically.
Yeah, we're not really hyping up our prices at all. We're just selling it at whatever the going rate is. And we do use eBay to look up comps for the most part. And we actually price a little bit below the top price because we want to get our items moving. Girly Girl Style says, so many people are doing pellets. We just reopened today and our ASP is like $32. Oh yeah, congratulations on selling your first item on your first day of reopening. I've heard of people doing really well during the pandemic. That's a fantastic average sell price, $32. Congratulations on that.
So as we talked about, a lot of people didn't have places to donate. And what's crazy is that they would actually go to a Goodwill store and they would dump their items outside the store, even though the store is closed.
Yeah, this is really sad. Okay, so this is something that we do kind of have to know and talk about as resellers because, you know, a lot of us, we like reselling because we're saving the environment. But during the pandemic, what ended up happening with a lot of, you know, thrift stores closing, and even the ones that are opened, a lot of them have new processes where they're leaving the donated items out to sit for a few days. And even items that people touch, they don't necessarily put them back on the racks right away. They'll take them out and let them sit for like 24 hours. So like getting turnover on new items is slower. And as you see in this picture here, this picture shows like a thrift store and just, it looks almost like trash, but it's people's donations who, even though the thrift stores were closed, they didn't know what to do with them. Yeah. Keep in mind, a lot of people were also moving and they would just leave everything there. And, you know, the problem with this is that, you know, there was rain, the weather was like ruining the items, and they ended up having to go to, what do you call it?
Dumpster?
To the landfill, which is what we don't want to happen. But even people who were doing the spring cleaning didn't have Goodwill to donate their items to. They actually ended up going to landfills and standing in lines waiting to get rid of all of their things that they were cleaning up. So if you guys are able to, by the way, this is still happening now, and it's, in California where we live, the stores are closed still. So if you can, and if you want to do this, place an ad in your local, Facebook marketplace offer up or wherever, your neighborhood apps, and ask for donations. Mm-hmm. So that maybe instead of, things going to the landfill, you can look through them and see what you guys can sell. Yes. And so Girly Girl Style said, lots for people here have been moving and we got some free furniture. Okay, where are they moving to? That's cool, the free furniture. That's really awesome. Yay. Love free furniture.
So this is so basically what's going on is that there are more donations and less customers, which means more inventory. So it might be good for us resellers to be able to find good things.
Like you would think, but I've heard mixed things. I've heard that the prices are still high. Yeah. And again, mixed, right? And I heard that the turnover rate for new items is really slow. All right, so we do have a question here from My Web Promos. So she says, we can take advantage of that problem of thrift stores not being open. We can post ads that take your, I don't know why it doesn't finish the sentence, but.
Take your items?
Yeah, post ads, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've gotten some free things that we've made some good money off of. And, free donation items really have increased our bottom lines. We've sold a lot of things that we've gotten for free and made some really good profits.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go.
Oh, so this is interesting. There was a store in Goodwill that they measured the sales before the pandemic and after. So before, the average customer spent $19 per trip to a local Goodwill. After pandemic, they spent double when stores reopened. So there's a lot of people who maybe can't wait to go to a thrift store. I've also read that a lot of people are concerned about their finances. So they are shopping at a thrift store to save money. And so that's really interesting.
That's right. And Girly Girl Style, Tori says, one thrift doesn't bag your items, and they had a huge sale to turn items. They also have been doing Insta sales. Mm-hmm. Well, that's really smart on their end to do that. Mm-hmm. But that's really cool if they're doing the big sales, because that's good for us as resellers. That's what we look for. Thanks for sharing that, Tori. And Bill says Goodwill outlet should be interesting. We can't wait to hear about how that goes. Is there going to be a video? Mm-hmm. A video done on that? Mm-hmm. All right. So what happens to the items that don't get sold? Well, they do go to the outlet and they get sold there by the pound. So as Tori, I think, mentioned, resellers are buying things by the pallet. That's definitely an option. And you can buy things very, very cheaply in that manner. If still nobody buys these items by the pound, they're going to end up at a landfill, or they'll get recycled or maybe shipped overseas.
That's interesting. Shipped overseas. I didn't know that. So a lot of customers are worried about the hygiene when shopping secondhand items. I've heard stories where you bring like a can of Lysol and you literally spray everything when you pick it up.
That's actually not a bad idea. My sister, who's a hairdresser, she was spraying herself with Lysol.
That's funny.
So that's smart. Right? It's a good idea, yeah. So there's a survey that was conducted. It said 33% of people have stopped buying clothes entirely during this pandemic. Which is understandable. It's like you have nowhere to go. Out, yeah. But we haven't stopped buying. We're still buying things here and there. While 32% have concerns about shopping for clothes still in a store. So our what we do is not slowing down by any means.
Yep. So let's talk about a couple of things how things have changed. One is when you go to the thrift store, it's mandatory in most states that you wear a mask and social distance. They also have something interesting. They use these signs on the floor, and floor stickers to guide traffic in an effort to eliminate the usual jam. So you could see from this photo, they have arrows, so kind of like you don't cross paths with other people, just to maintain your distance. So I think that's pretty smart. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely smart. The staff there, they don't want to get close to you. They'll probably point fingers at things. They're also like discouraging cash payments, a lot of them, so that will lessen contamination risk. Plexiglasses, have you seen those plexiglasses between cashiers and people? I've seen those everywhere.
That's right. They're also, like my web promo says, they're letting a few people in to the store at a time. So I think that's helpful. Because being indoor is, I wish Goodwill bins could be outdoor. I think that would be really fun.
That would be awesome.
It's like a flea market. And safer too, right? They're also looking at reducing the store hours. So they're doing a lot of things in an effort. And another example is Goodwill in Georgia. They're using misting device. We have a picture here, actually. How do you show it? There's a misting device right there where they're actually cleaning every single night to disinfect all the items.
Yeah, it's like an air sanitizer or whatever. I've seen that everywhere.
Yeah.
We do have a question. Bill's asking, are the fires hindering reseller buying in Kelly? So the fires are pretty big. I heard the fires are, bigger than the state of, I don't know, Maine or something like that. So they're pretty darn big out here. We're thankfully not close to the very large fire that is going on right now, thankfully. But we've had our few little shares of fires, and what happens is, like I said, in California, even if there weren't any fires, most of the counties are closed, and you cannot shop right now at the thrift stores. Now, a couple of counties are like on the first stage of, like, we have a plan in California on how we're going to reopen, and it has to do with the testing numbers. And so if positivity levels go down, it goes down by a level. So like San Diego County's below most of California, and they can open at 25% capacity. Yeah, so that just happened like within the last couple of days. Yeah. And so Bill says we're getting the smoke from there every day. That's crazy. That's insane.
Sorry. Sorry, Washington. I think we're going to talk about one more thing. Let's see. Or maybe not. Here, the Goodwill drive-thru. Have you guys heard of a donation drive-thru? So some of the stores pivoted, and they're making the donation center a drive-thru, which is, I think, really cool.
There was a comment about the cash thing from Tori. She says, oh, the cash thing. When at a vintage store in Wyoming, they encourage cash. That's funny. I can see why on their end, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is really dirty.
You just wear gloves, I guess.
I like how in other countries, it is a standard to not use any cash. Like, everything's digital. All right. Well, we do have a meme that Michelle would like to share with everyone.
Oh, well, there's basically a bunch of donation bags, and it says, I'm going to donate the stuff to Goodwill, but first I'm going to drive around with it in my trunk for a few months.
I literally have a bunch of books in my car that I picked up from an ad. We have an ad always running to pick up items. I literally have a bunch of books in my car that we need to start, like, what do you call it, listing, so they can get sold.
Isn't it interesting? People do that. They drive around with bags.
I do that. I'm sure you've done that before. I remember. So, but we do have on a really much more sad note. My web promo says that my friend contracted COVID and was in a coma for 2 months and just died 3 days ago.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm really, really sorry to hear that. My web promos. Were you close to your friend? Where is your friend from?
Is it Arizona as well?
Arizona. Michelle's colleague, we're at that stage where it is affecting everyone. Like, we all know someone who got it, right? Michelle's colleague's cousin, who was in his 20s and was healthy, recently passed away from it as well. And then my cousin's grandma and aunt, they were very, very sick with it for a couple months. And they went to the hospital, but they were one of the lucky ones that, they didn't pass away. And they are now, they've gotten over it. So, man, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, definitely really, really sorry to hear that. My web promos. Chrissy's Attic says, my condolences.
So
Bill says, sorry to hear.
Reselling business is important. Our jobs are important, but the most important thing is really our health. So, when you guys do go sourcing, just make sure you're safe, wear a mask, have gloves, just wash your hands all the time. And
speaking of, Girly Girl Style mentioned that in Wyoming, they were not only requesting cash at the thrift stores there, but they also, no one was wearing a mask there as well. So, we still need to be careful. We're still in it. So, and I love how Tori says, our health and the health of others.
Yeah, I
love that.
I actually got a really cute. So my colleague basically told me what she told her son that wearing a mask means. She says wearing a mask means you're saying I love you to other people, which I think is really cute.
100%. It's about other people, because unless you have an N95, right? You're protecting others when you wear the mask. So that's a good note to end on. Thank you guys so much for being here and participating in our live. It was extremely interesting to me to discuss how things have changed. Let's keep an eye out. Q4 is coming up. We're in September. This is your last month to get ready and prepare for Q4. Make sure you have a strategy and a plan. And best of luck. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night.